All the world's a stage, and all the people merely players. So we all have a role to play. Welcome everyone to Stars of the City Episode 1, our Project Moon tabletop actual play podcast. My name is Mason, also known as the 8-Bit Hypocrite, and I'll be your game master for today. I am here with my three lovely players. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Isaac.
Hi, I'm Isaac. I'll be playing a silly little guy whose name is Dr. Arthur Geller. Very happy to be here, and happy to be having a good time with my handful of silly little friends.
Woohoo. Cody.
Hey guys, my name's Cody. I'm going to be playing Carrington, member of the 4th Pack of the Rhino Corps, and I'm here for a fun time.
And Greg.
Hi, I'm Greg. Hopefully the audio's working. I'll be playing Moose, who's a silly big guy.
Indeed, this is our first time trying this, so hopefully everyone's audio is at least acceptable. We'll do our best to play around afterwards and find out how everything sounds, but you guys might have to put up with some technical difficulties for the first bit. But what do you say, folks? You all ready to begin?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought you were talking to the audience for a second, and I was like, that's not how this works.
No, they can't respond. It's not live.
No, okay, cool. Hi, audience, how are you today?
We're not live streaming on Kick.com.
God, I wish, with Ninja Fortnite Blevins.
It's Tyler Ninja Fortnite Mixer Blevins, please.
Yeah, okay, bro. But with that, we will go ahead and begin our story. Welcome to the city, a dystopian society ruled by mega-corporations and associations hidden in the shadows, where monsters known as abnormalities are commonplace and cannibals and murderers roam the back streets preying on the innocent. Our camera pans down from the cloudy sky, bringing into view a figure in a business lab coat walking through one of the many back streets in District 23. Well known to be one of the worst places in the entire city. While the walkway is filled with dirty puddles of water and trash, it's free of any other signs of life. After all, it's harder to rob people this close to the nest of W Corp. As our figure continues down the path, a light can finally be seen in one of the windows of the many rundown buildings. This must be the place. Our figure steps into the light, reaching for the knob of the mostly intact door, and we finally see their face. Isaac, would you care to describe what your character looks like to us?
Certainly. Dr. Arthur Geller, as you said, dressed in some business attire and a lab coat. It is his clothes are a bit dilapidated at this point, a bit damaged, a little threadbare from point to point, from years of healthy use, and in more recent days, more honest damage to them. He appears to be likely in his late 40s to 50s, has advanced aging a little bit, the kind of aging that comes with a lot of stress, essentially, from a long life, not so well lived. Balding on top, a thick mustache upon his lip, and a pair of glasses resting on his nose. One of his eyes is a very vibrant green color, the other is yellow. And he has a demeanor about him of tiredness, defeat, perhaps. And he puts his hand on that doorknob and moves to step inside with a long sigh that comes along with expectation of the next chapter of a life that may not get better.
You push open this door and step inside a very cramped office space. The whole space could be described as tiny, but the desk in the middle of the room and two chairs occupied by two other large men make it feel even smaller. In the harsh, white, artificial light, the two men turn around, looking somewhat similar in build. Greg, would you describe your character to us?
Yes. as you said, big, muscular man, wearing like a tank top and like just cargo shorts. And you can see the tank top is just covered in like old sweat stains and even some dried blood. And yeah, he has a crew cut with dark hair and a big, like police chief mustache, just like going down, covering both his lips.
And also Cody, would you describe your character to us?
Yeah, so my character has a somewhat suspiciously striking resemblance to Greg's, but he's a bit more. He's clean shaven, but his hair is a bit longer. It's not in the military cut style. And it's also his hair is slightly lighter, but you can tell it's been dyed.
Mm-hmm. As you kind of walk in, the final figure in the room, who has been sitting behind this desk, stands up to greet you. It is a very, very sharply dressed, older, somewhat Asian-looking man, wearing a black and blue kind of dress suit, almost a tuxedo kind of style. With kind of embroidery down the side of bright fluorescent blue. He's holding a cane, kind of propping himself up on one side. He's not old. You assume this cane is mostly for show. It's like dark wood with a golden handle, and he's smoking on a pipe, kind of filling the air with that smoky detective's office atmosphere. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
As you enter, he kind of raises his hands in a mock celebration. Ah, third showed after all. Well, I was beginning to get worried. The back streets are a dangerous place, you know. I'm sure half the people I offered a job to are dead by now. There's, no seats left, but please go ahead and we'll make our acquaintances. I'm sure that you all have your secrets, but I don't mean to pry. Since you'll be co-workers now, at least I assume that's what you came for, we should at least get to each other's names. I'm Zoe, head of this office, Husk Office. I'm sure you remember my name from previous introductions. Used to be a hotshot fixer out there, but ever since the pianist, well, I figure I'll let you boys do the heavy lifting. But, I don't know exactly who you are, so... He points to Moose. You first. Who are you?
You can just refer to me as Moose. My throat. I'm already failing.
It's so sad. That's all right. He kind of gives you a glance up and down and looks between you and Carrie. He's kind of seeing some similarities between the two, and he kind of gestures towards Carrie next.
The name's Carrie. I'm saying I kind of just like have like a smug like I do like the anime like hand on hip, like thumb pointing towards myself.
Yeah.
Pump my chest up a little bit.
Very good. The hot shot introduction.
Yeah.
Zoe kind of nods and finally turns his gaze to the newest arrival. And who might you be?
I'm Dr. Arthur Geller. It's my absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you.
He kind of gives
holding a
laugh.
pen in his hand and just kind of fiddling with it and clicking it.
Kind of nervous habit kind of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I forgot.
Yeah.
I need my
Oh,
dice.
Hey, yeah, those are probably important in the role playing or in the tabletop game. That may help you.
I promise, everyone, I'm a professional.
He's done this before, I promise. Zoe seems pretty satisfied with these introductions. As he said before, he's not that interested in you learning your guys' secrets. These were just meant to be general introductions. And he seems pretty happy with what he's received. He kind of begins to pace behind this desk, his cane tapping on the rotting wooden floorboards beneath your feet as the smoke trails behind him. and he moves his gaze to the back of the office and begins to speak again. All right, here's how this is gonna work, right? I get orders from W Corp. After all, I used to do work for them, so they'll get me what they can. I find the jobs, you all get them done, and we all get paid. The more you work, the more famous we get, the more people join, and the more cash the four of us make. Well, unless you die, of course, and in your
I
current
love a good pyramid
state,
scheme.
it really is.
I'm sorry, just sounds like a pyramid scheme, but with actual work involved.
He kind of turns back towards you guys and goes, unless you die, of course. And in your current state, well, I'd say it's pretty likely, and gives you guys another once-over looking at your sweat-stained tank tops and business attire. So, first order of business from the newly created Husk Office. Get some better gear. I've got a friend in the back streets right here in W named Marcel. They owe me some favors, so you all should go get some outfits. He kind of fiddles around behind the desk, opens up a drawer, and pulls out a map and kind of points to the general area. You all been in W for very long?
Unfortunately.
Nah, just came in the other day.
I just kind of go, I've been everywhere. They all bleed together a bit.
I like the attitude, but it's more dangerous than you think out there. This general area isn't too bad. It's protected mostly by a couple associations. But here, he kind of draws a little line on the map from where you assume you guys are right now to another area and kind of taps it. Just follow a couple of the back streets and you'll get there in no time. Marcel's a real good tailor. He can get you some better stuff than what you're currently wearing.
I see. Thank you.
Once you guys get a little bit better equipped, we can move on to the real stuff. You know, hopefully you all come back alive. This is first order, of course. I don't expect you to die just yet. With that, he kind of turns away and goes back to smoking his pipe in the corner of the room and kind of waves you guys out as you guys stand up together. He goes, listen, try to get along out there. I don't want you three stabbing each other in the back so early on, especially since you're my only employees right now. Got that?
I suppose.
You got it, boss.
I just give him kind of a nod, an agreement, but a smirky nod.
A hotshot nod.
Yeah, hot shot. Figured out my character already. I dare you.
He gives you a nod back, and with that, he turns to look out a foggy back window, which, as far as you can tell, basically has a view just into the next alley over. There's nothing interesting through that window. It's just another brick wall. But
Very good.
yeah,
Don't worry. Once he's rich, he's gonna be able to have a painting commission to put there.
Ooh.
One painting
Of an AI art.
Oh, and that gets even more rich, and then he can get a second painting, and if he feels like it, he can swap them.
No, it's just a giant LCD screen of AI
change
art
up
prompts.
the view.
I'm gonna own this town one day.
Yeah, and that kind of brings us to the true beginning. You guys are employed by Husk Office. It's that easy. Things move fast in the city, so if you can find work, you know, sometimes you gotta take it.
Arthur puts both of his hands, does that kind of old man stand-up situation where both of his hands go onto the arms of the chair, and he like leans forward and pushes himself up out of the chair in kind of an unsteady way. He sighs again and moves out to step towards the door, pulls out a little notepad that he seems to have and addresses the other two men. Just because he has it's very clear that he has like written their names down. And he's like,
Are you all ready to go? Moose and Carrie?
Yeah, Doctor. Let's go ahead and get a move on, I suppose.
Very good. Let's go find this Marcel.
I kind of stand up, and as I stand up, I kind of like put both my hands like slicking through my
You
hair.
do the
And
stretch.
I do the stretch, and I kind of like just walk out with my hands behind my head, and I kind of say like, "Ugh, I guess we get some new clothes. Not kind of the outfit I want, but it'll do for now."
What, you don't think that Marcel is going to provide you with a tough-ass fit, as it were?
Trust me, the fits I used to wear, they were something.
Oh, you should have seen me back in the day. I was quite the heartbreaker.
Oh, I'm sure you were, Gramps.
Easy, kid.
At this point, I'm already outside. I've already walked outside, and I'm like, as he is saying that.
Yeah, you guys make your way back out to the shoddy door. It's kind of early morning right now, so.
As we're walking, I would just like to look over at the doctor and say, I mean, it's quite obvious what me and Carrie get up to. You know, how we're built and all that fun jazz. What is it that you do there, doctor? You got any fun tricks up your sleeve?
Like to read?
I was talking more like, you know, to prevent us from dying.
Oh, I see.
I'm going to assume that reading's not gonna help us.
Well, you never know. Not knowing is half the battle, after all.
I love that the question was never answered.
Hey, so be it. You don't get all the info in the back streets. Yeah, you guys follow these shoddy streets. The environment is basically what I described previously. There's like puddles on the ground. There's old trash by the side of the road. There's really few people out. The back streets of W are incredibly dangerous, known for being very, very dangerous. The main reason these are safe are because you're very close to the nest right now. And it's pretty hard to rob people there. There are a lot of enforcers at the border of W's nest. The surrounding buildings all appear to be in very much so disrepair. Imagine like big apartment buildings kind of crumbling. There's no windows anywhere, like no actual glass. Maybe one every 4 windows has a pane of glass in it, and half of those are broken. It is just the worst type of dystopia that this area is. Probably not something that many of you are super used to. A lot of you guys would have experienced the back streets of perhaps R or other districts, which are considerably nicer than W's. This place is a hellhole, basically. It is not a nice place to be. Go ahead and roll an insight check. So that'll just be your 2d6 plus whatever your insight is.
And then we add that up?
Yeah, add that all up.
Oh, I have a 12.
I have an 8.
I have a 7.
All right, 6. So you all passed. This uses powered by the apocalypse, which basically means if it's a 6 or less, you fail. 7 and 9 is like partial, and then 10 or higher is good. So, I believe Moose was the only one that rolled above a 10, which is fine. The other two, Dr. Geller and Carrie, you two have like an uncomfortable feeling as you're walking. You guys have been walking only for about 10 minutes, but you're slowly getting further and further from the border of the nest. Zoe's office was basically on the border between the back streets and the nest itself, which is very, very safe. Now you guys are kind of leaving that safety, and something is just nagging at you. Moose, you just have this chill run down your spine, and for a moment, you might even stop and look over your shoulder. It feels like you are being watched. Like, directly. Instantly, you get a horrific feeling that you are being watched, probably by multiple people, but you don't know from where.
It seems, boys, there's a couple of rats prowling about.
Yes, I've been to the back streets before for quite a long time, Mr. Moose. I don't expect that will be changing anytime soon.
Well, if they want to pick a fight, they best be ready to face me.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Just gonna slip on those brass knuckles.
I kind of like grab my sword that's like attached to my belt and it's holstered.
Mhm.
Or sheath, I guess I'd say, holstered.
Wait, you
Arthur
actually have a
sighs.
sword?
actually, it's on my side. It's on my back. It's on my back.
Yeah,
bastard-
Carrie has a whole ass sword with him. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a
cool.
bastard sword.
A hot shot sword.
a hot
Well,
shot.
not as
sword.
cool as my brass knuckles.
Your
I
hot
have a
shot,
pen.
brass knuckles.
I have a pen.
I was going to say. Meanwhile, Arthur is his main weapon is sighing.
He wields the power of exasperation. He wields it well.
Of a tired old man. You guys continue a little bit further until you get kind of towards the outskirts of the area that was described to you by Zoe. As this street kind of opens up, it's a little bit wider than the kind of alleys and stuff you've been walking through. You see that a little bit further down the road, probably like 300 to 500 feet, are makeshift buildings, essentially like what we would consider slums. It is like tents held up with patched together cloth, completely supported by like rusty metal pipes that have been pulled off of buildings, aluminum gutters, stuff like that. There's a couple crumbling apartment buildings, as previously mentioned, but the main group of people seems to be basically living out in the street. You can see some general movement down the road, people laying underneath of blankets, moving around, walking, talking, and they're all very, very dirty. Obviously, again, this is the back streets. This is not a good place to be. But as this kind of comes into view, you all hear a noise come from behind you. Those were some good checks earlier with insight there. As you kind of turn around, you see a group of 3 people. One a little bit taller than the rest with some dark black hair wearing like a padded vest, and 2 slightly shorter figures kind of hunched over wearing essentially hoodies, like hoods, with their faces kind of obscured. And the 3 of them are slowly approaching you guys from behind, not really trying to hide themselves, especially now that they know they've been spotted.
Arthur will just quietly do his best to position himself between the immense piles of man on either side of him.
That's, yeah, completely fair. As they kind of draw closer, the main one, the middle one, kind of stands up a little bit straighter and gives you guys a little wave. He goes, "You folks look like you got some shiny stuff there. You all new to the back streets of W?"
No.
I just I turn around and I say, and I just kind of shout, "Yeah, so what? Mind your own business, pal. One's looking for trouble."
He gives a little chuckle as well, and as he kind of lowers his hand to his belt, you see that the other 2 flanking him start to kind of make a circle around you guys, walking at a pretty big distance, slowly closing you guys in, trying to surround you. He's trying to hold your attention the best he can. He goes, "How about you hand your stuff over and you don't lose a hand in the process?"
Yeah, I'll gladly do that, and I'll start walking up to him.
Okay, all right.
Here, let me just go ahead and reach into my pocket and brass knuckles to the jaw.
Oh, well, okay, all right. So here's what we'll do, right? We've got.
I thought you were going to give him like you pull out your hand out of your pocket and then give him the middle finger.
Now that's what Cody would do. Moose just is gonna punch the guy.
I know what I want to do right after.
I only know
Greg's-
2
Greg-
languages.
Greg's
One of them is
section.
English, and one of them is Punchin. And I only know English slightly well.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give Greg, or wait, sorry, we'll give Moose a surprise attack here, and then we're gonna
Oh, hell
roll
yeah.
initiative for combat. These are the rats. It's quite funny that you said that there are rats crawling around a little bit ago, because that's what they're called in the backstreet. These packs of criminals and stuff are known as rats. So,
Rats.
weird
Rats.
rat.
We're the rats.
So Moose, you are what is your plan here? You're just making an attack, correct?
Yeah, I'm just gonna
All right,
punch him.
fantastic. Roll damage. Attacks don't miss in this game. You just punch the guy squarely in the jaw. He is going to try to defend.
Cool. How do I roll damage?
So that will be what is your weapon for brass
Ah,
knuckles?
so a d6 plus
yeah,
2?
d6 plus instinct. Yeah.
That's gonna be 8.
8. Okay. So
I'm gonna swap out these dice because now they're making me seem sus because I rolled 3 6s in a row and I don't like that.
no, that just means that they're good dice.
Where your
Well,
dice? Where
they're
your dice?
too
Where your
good.
dice?
I need dice that are varying so you guys don't think I'm cheating.
He needs narrative
You,
theming
you said
dice.
an 8, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
8.
As your hand kind of as you whip your fist up from your pocket, trying to connect with this man's jaw, he tries to raise his hand as quickly as he can just to soften the blow, but he barely succeeds. He's going to block 2 of that damage, so he will take 6 damage. Just straight up. I forgot to turn on
Ow.
streamer mode. Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
That is awesome.
Yeah, as you guys probably
Alright,
can
so-
tell from your health bar. What were you saying?
So, quick question.
Yes.
How much litter is on the street right now?
There are piles of trash piled up at the sides of the streets. There is plenty.
Is there like any glass bottles laying near me?
Yeah, there are probably some glass bottles around. Absolutely.
Could I pick up a bottle, throw it at the right guy, and then proceed to charge at the left guy?
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll initiative first, and then we will get into combat here. So, to start us off, initiative works a little bit different from other games, but this first part is going to be quite simple. We are going to roll for
So
speed.
we pick a number between 1 and
1 and
10,
200.
and whoever's closest gets to go first.
Yeah. So you'll roll for speed, which is 1d6 plus your justice value.
3.
8.
Okay,
2.
Sick. So our turn order is going to be Geller. What were the other 2? Sorry,
2.
I had a
3.
3.
Okay, cool. Geller, Moose, the Rat Pack, and finally Carrie. Okay.
My ego.
So, I have an important question as well, which will affect how combat works. Are you making any moves to kind of attack this very first round here, Arthur?
No.
No. Okay, that's completely fair because that would affect turn order. Okay. So we will go to main turn order here. So you are not doing anything. Basically, on your turn, you have 3 things you can do each turn order. That is 1 action and 2 reactions. So let me explain what actions are. On your actual turn, you have 4 options for the action that you can take. You may 1, engage an enemy. Engaging involves attacking, basically. You don't have to attack. You can engage an enemy and defend or evade against them, because in this game, whenever you engage with someone, a clash begins, and if they have a reaction, they get to also attack, defend, or evade. So,
Okay, cool.
yeah, you can engage an enemy to essentially, start a fight with them. You may move, which allows a movement of 1 distance. In this game, distance is not strictly, it doesn't have an exact quantity. There are just 3 different distances. 0 is you can run up and hit them with melee. 1 is ranged. 2 is you're out of the fight, essentially. You may protect, which you can cover for a targeted ally and take an attack in their place. or you can do just something in the environment. You can use a tool, you can investigate the area, you can choose to talk with someone. Talking is a free action, but like if you use your action to speak, that would be like, trying to speak with an enemy, like strike up a conversation, right? You can also use skills there.
Do you have like a list of these or something?
Yes,
so you could
here.
upload?
This will help.
Because I'm not gonna remember that.
No, that's completely fair. I will put it
I already
in
forgot.
combat. So, Arthur is up first. What are you gonna do for an action, if anything? Again, this can just be you can move away. You can investigate the area. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to attack someone.
Yeah, Arthur's gonna run away from the conflict.
That is completely fair.
From the immediate conflict.
So the two rats that were kind of trying to encircle you probably are not close enough to do anything about this. So you do move one distance away from the fight. This will put you out of range of most other people, like, running towards you.
Right on. He'll try and position himself, because he's not just sprinting all the way away, like, goodbye, new friends. That's not the case. He'll just try and position himself, like, maybe around the corner of, like, an alley or behind some stacked trash or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can... There's a whole bunch of, like, little tiny offshoots in this area, so you can absolutely get behind some general cover. Absolutely.
Yeah, he'll do that. He'll reach into his coat and pull out his 10mm pistol, hold it tightly in both hands, as he has practiced doing, and hopes to not have to use it, holds it close to his chest, and waits.
Absolutely. Alright, next up for turn order is going to be Moose. So, you may now make an action. That can be engage the enemy, move, protect an ally, or take some sort of other action. What will it be?
I got a fleshy little boy in front of me. Might as well engage.
Gotta pummel him. Okay, so you are choosing to engage this rat. This is now a clash. For each, full turn order, every unit in a fight has 2 reactions that you are forced to burn whenever you are engaged with. If you don't have a reaction, it is known as a free attack, and whatever action they are taking against you immediately happens. So, this rat has both of his reactions for this combat. I know that he used one before combat to try to defend against your punch, but that was before initiative was rolled. So, I assume that you will try to make an attack against him, correct?
Yes.
Alright, he is going to try to defend against it. So, this is now a clash. You will roll for damage. Go ahead and roll your damage again, and I will roll for this rat to defend.
Also, quick question about the
Yes.
skills.
Yes.
They require light. When do we get light back?
You get light on a short or long rest. A short rest is an hour. A long rest is more than 2 hours.
Got it.
So basically, anytime there's downtime, you will get your light back. Are you going to use a skill?
I feel a little silly right now. Might as well. I'll go ahead and I'll just do my my multi-hit.
Okay, absolutely. So, go ahead and roll your first damage.
7.
Okay. This rat defended for 5 this time, so he will
Ooh.
only take 2 damage.
Damn.
Actually, what type of damage do your brass knuckles do? They do blunt, correct?
Blunt, yeah.
Okay. For no particular reason. Fantastic. Okay. That is your first hit. You may now choose to do it again. Are you just going to do the same thing? Engage and hit him?
Yeah.
Alright, sick. So, this is this rat's second reaction, which means it is now rolled at disadvantage. Your attack still goes through as normal, but the more times you choose to clash against someone in a single turn of combat, the more likely you are to deal more damage.
Nice.
So, yeah. Okay. What do you have for this one?
3.
3. Okay. He actually defended for 4 this time. However, because this is a defense and not an evade, he will still take 1 damage. Defending only lowers the damage you take to a minimum of 1.
Nice.
So, as you kind of pummel into this man, you just hit him like 3 fucking times in a row. You are beating this man down. He is not looking too bad, honestly. He's not bloodied or anything, but he's like kind of falling back. He's taking steps back as Moose just lays into this man 3 times in a row. He's not having a good time. And as this final punch kind of collides, he's like, "What the hell are you two doing? Quit standing around!" And he is going to try to stab at Moose because he's right in front of him. So I am going to try to clash against you. You have 2 reactions. Moose, you now get to try to do something against him. So, oh, Moose is typing. Hold on.
What? No, I'm just back.
Oh, okay. Sorry, all good. So, he's going to try to stab you. This engages a clash. You now have the 3 same actions that you could take when you engage an enemy. So would you like to attack, defend, or evade this man?
So I can attack while he's attacking? That's
Correct.
Interesting.
So the way that clashes work is if you both attack, whoever rolls higher deals that much damage to their opponent, and the other one doesn't do anything. If you choose to defend, you can reduce the damage he deals down to a minimum of 1, whatever your defense roll is. And if you choose to evade, if you roll higher than his attack roll, you take 0 damage, but if you roll lower than his attack roll, you take all the damage. So that's how clashes work in this game. Be aware that when you are attacked, you can choose to attack in retaliation.
You know what? I feel silly, so I'm going to attack.
All right, go ahead and roll an attack against this man again.
5.
Okay, he also rolled a 5. Okay, that is a tie. We will both simply re-roll our attacks.
Hell yeah.
Go ahead and re-roll that. Basically, your weapons just clang off of each other is what happens there.
3.
All right. He also rolled a 3. Do it again.
Hell yeah.
Do it again. You guys are doing a JoJo battle over here.
4.
All right. He rolled a 5 this time.
Ah.
So after you hit this man twice with him kind of blocking, he lashes out with this knife he's pulled from his belt. And after 2 quick strikes that you manage to deflect with your brass knuckles, he does get a slash across your arm. What is your resistance to slash damage?
Fatal.
Okay, sick. He is going to deal 10 damage to both your health and stagger.
Nice.
Yeah. That is a big one. That does not stagger you, correct?
No.
Okay. Solid. Okay, and then it is the other rat's turn. These 2 rats, one of them is just going to run towards Geller. He saw him try to start to escape. This is a lady. She starts running towards the alley that you kind of ducked into. She's like, "And where the hell do you think you're going?" And that will be her turn. Since she did not take an action against you, you don't get to do anything in response, but she is now close enough to start melee attacking you next turn, unless you move again.
Got it.
The other one is now going to try to run at Carrie and give you a nice little slash. He is going to engage you. So, what will you do in response to this man's attack, Carrie?
I am going so my where are you attacking me with?
He is swinging kind of a shiv at you, essentially. It's like not a real knife, but it's just a sharpened kind of piece of metal.
All right. As he is charging me, I want to pull out my sword and try and just do a slash.
Okay, so you will attack into his attack.
I will attack.
Okay,
Yes,
yep, go ahead and
yes.
roll an attack.
That's 2d6s, right?
That is 1d6 plus
1d6,
your
1d6.
instinct.
I rolled a 3.
A 3. He rolled a 2. So as this man rushes towards you, you respond in kind, and as he closes the gap, you hear the ting of a metal as you swing your sword in retaliation and knock his knife aside, hitting him in the process. You said you rolled a 3?
Yes.
Okay, and that is pierce damage?
Just to double check. Yes, it is pierce.
Okay, so... this man kind of staggers backwards a little bit, and now it is your turn, Carrie.
Alright, so as he staggers back,
Mhm.
I kind of like... I was kind of holding the sword with one hand. I put it out with one hand.
Yeah.
And then I put it in both hands. And I begin to charge him, kind of with the point towards the sword.
Oh, like double-handing it against you,
Yeah.
like trying to run him through, like with a spear?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Aiming for his lower gut area.
Absolutely. He is going to try to evade this. Go ahead and make your attack.
I got a 4.
Okay, he rolled a 3. Since he rolled lower on evasion, he will take full damage. This is pierce again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you charge this man, and as he tries to jump out of the way, he can't quite make it, and you glance his side. However, as you try to stick him, he falls backwards. This man is staggered. This happens when someone's stagger resistance hits 0. Your attack dropped his stagger resistance to 0, which means he will skip his next turn, and until he can act again, all of his resistances change to fatal, which means he takes double damage from everything. You have staggered this man. That is very good for you. Don't get staggered, kids. That's the moral of this story. And with that, we will return to the top of the order with... again, this will affect turn order. Dr. Geller, Arthur, will you be taking any action against this woman who is chasing you down?
I think so, yeah.
Will you be attacking her?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so the way that weapons work in this game is that when it comes to turn order, ranged weapons always get priority. You are the only one in this fight with a ranged weapon.
Got it.
So it is your action.
Okay, so I am going to peek around my corner, point my gun, and take a wild shot. More of a kind of suppressive fire situation than anything else. But if it tags her, then that's great.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask if you don't want to actually try to shoot her, but just as a warning, do you want to, instead of attacking, maybe make like a skill check to see if you can like intimidate her
Well,
or something?
I wanted to use one of my abilities on her, which is tied to an attack.
Okay, yeah, so it will be an attack then.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely, go for it.
So I'll peek around the corner and take a shot, while addressing her at the same time, and say,
You don't have to do this. There is absolutely no reason that you need to throw your life away at this particular moment. Alright, there's plenty of refuse around here. I'm sure you could find some pile of trash to slink away into.
All right, and what is that skill, or what will it do?
well, first I have to shoot with gun.
That is true,
right?
yeah, so make an attack roll.
Okay.
When she sees the barrel of the gun peek around the corner with you, she's gonna try to evade, but she's gonna give a shout to the others. She's like, "This guy's got a gun!"
That's not fair. We only
I did
brought
not roll very
knives to this
high.
fight.
What do I add to this?
Since it is a ranged weapon, nothing. It will just be a flat
Got it,
D6.
okay. 3.
That is higher than her evasion of a 2, so you do actually hit her.
Right on.
That is piercing damage, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. And that means... Yes.
It's a D6 damage, so should I roll that now?
Yes. Or sorry,
It is
no,
4.
sorry. That attack was the damage itself.
Oh, it's the damage
Yes,
as well.
yes. So yeah, it'll just be like one flat roll, and whoever gets the higher value essentially wins in that clash. Okay, so you do succeed this attack. What does your ability do?
All right, so I am going to ask her a question to attempt to inflict paralysis upon her.
Absolutely. So as you unleash this bullet from the gun, at the same time as this bullet kind of... as she's trying to evade this shot, everyone else in the fight hears a voice that they don't quite recognize from the direction of Arthur. And as it kind of rips from your chest, the rest of the party and yourself here.
And what did you do to try to save him?
And as the bullet is traveling towards her and this voice hits her ears, the woman seems to freeze for a moment and then is struck by this shot. So she will be paralyzed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that's paralyzed 2. Okay. That will be your turn. Next up is Moose again.
I'm just gonna look down, see the blood in my arm, and just go, huh. So the rat has some fight in him after all. And quick question.
Yes.
How is he doing?
He is looking okay. He's a little unsteady on his feet, but he doesn't look very hurt overall.
Oh, hell yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and just shout, Phoenix Rising! And uppercut him.
Oh my god, okay.
Using my my special.
Absolutely. Go ahead and make an attack. Also, don't forget, Arthur is now 1 light down.
Yes.
Okay. Same with you, Moose. This will expend a light.
Yep, I've been keeping track.
All right. He's going to try to defend against it. What did you roll?
Give me like 2 seconds. A
Yep,
6.
Okay. Yeah, he rolled a 3. So you absolutely slam this man right in the jaw, and his eyes go wide, and he goes flying. He will take a lot of damage.
And my inflict burn is 3.
Okay. Yeah, so... Oh my god. Alright, you're dealing some hefty damage with this. So, yeah, you uppercut this man, he goes flying, he is burned for 3. Do you want to explain what this maybe looks like? What caused this burn as you just punched this man?
That's a great question.
Do you want me to take the reins instead?
Sure,
Do you not have
yeah.
an idea? Okay. I'm just gonna say, like, as you give your nice little one-liner of this rat has some fight in him, you kind of like rear back and essentially do like a charge up, right? Like Street Fighter style. Like there's a brief delay, and the rest of you see this kind of flash come as Moose's fist collides with this man's jaw. And it almost looks like a mist kind of sprays out before you realize that is smoke rising. It's Moose's emotions themselves, this anger, this determination, this fast punch actually physically ignited a spark, which is honestly just impressive. This rat goes flying backwards, and he lands on his back and is slowly trying to recover. You have also staggered this rat. Again, he will skip his next turn, and all of his resistances are fatal until his next turn.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got whacked bad. All right. Dr. Geller has already taken his turn. Moose has taken his turn. That means that there is only one rat currently able to take a turn that is not staggered, and that is the one near Arthur, although she is paralyzed. So, with paralysis, she has a disadvantage on every roll for every paralysis. So, she's not paying too much attention to the rest of the fight. She is very focused on you, Arthur. After all, you're the one pointing a gun at her, and she sprints towards you with this horrible anger in her eyes. She's like, "What did you say? Why did you say that?"
I didn't want to have to do that. You left me with no choice.
Whatever that was, I'm putting an end to it now! And she's gonna swing towards you with her knife. You still have your reactions, so what will you do? Attack, defend, evade.
I suppose I will try to evade.
You can also choose to just take the hit, but that's usually not
I don't
the
wanna do
greatest
that.
idea. That's fair. Alright, so go ahead and roll evasion for me.
Okie doke. Is that on 1d6 or 2?
That is 1d6. It's
Okay.
down towards your outfit on the far right. It should be like 1d6
Yes.
plus something else.
Yes, indeed.
Alright, hype.
3.
That is higher than her attack of 1. Thank you, paralysis disadvantage. So she swings towards you, and you see tears welling up in her eyes as she tries to frantically rub them away, and you can just very easily move out of the way of this knife. She's practically blinding herself. She kind of sniffles and comes to a stop after this swing. She is not happy. With that, it is Carrie's turn. You have a staggered man in front of you.
All right, she's kind of laying. Is he kind of laying down?
Yeah, he's trying to stand up right now.
Mm-hmm. And so I take my sword. I kind of turn it upside. I kind of do a reverse grip.
Yeah.
Slowly walk up to. I kind of slowly walk up to him, and I say, "Oh, life's like you. Every day seems like getting a quick buck, picking on the wrong people." And as I slowly go to raise my sword, just kind of just shove it into him, right as he's laying there.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make an attack.
All right. That's with instinct, right?
Yes, 1d6 plus instinct.
Oh, check the die. That is a 6.
Oh my god. Yeah, so that damage is doubled since he is staggered. He gets stabbed as hell. This poor man is trying to stand up. You fully impale him. Your sword pierces through his upper chest and all the way, and you feel it hit the pavement behind as he cries out. He is screaming. The rat in front of you, Arthur, it kind of turns around, still crying, and the one laying on the ground in front of Moose, it kind of looks up in shock. He's like, "Robin, no!" And he's still trying to get to his feet. That will be the end of.
Can I have one request?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can some blood splat across my face?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you get the blood spray. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That brings us back to the top of the order, I believe. Will Arthur be making any ranged attacks this round?
No.
All right. In that case, it will be Moose's turn.
Okay.
You now have a staggered man in front of you.
Yeah, I'm just going to... Because I'm assuming he's still on the ground, right?
Yes, yeah. He's struggling to get up.
I'm
He
just
is
going to-
looking over at his impaled friend.
I'm going to slowly just walk towards him, kneel on the ground, pat him on the shoulder, and be like, "It's okay. The back streets are a tough place." And then, hopefully for the last time, punch his lights out.
Yeah, he, as you kind of pat him on the shoulder, his attention turns to you, and you see that he no longer has kind of a smug look on his face, but his eyes are wide open in fear. Go ahead and make your attack.
That's going to be a 6.
Jesus, my god, guys. Wow.
It's turning these people into paste.
Yeah, your fist collides with this man's head, and he rockets back to the ground, and you hear a crack as his skull collides with the pavement beneath your feet. He stops moving as well.
Just give a slight blow onto my knuckles.
As the smoke rises off your knuckles, yeah.
As I quickly say, "Nice one, Moose."
Thanks, Carrie.
That's
Good
my
work with that
compliment.
sword.
Yeah.
Arthur is just horrified.
I was
Hey,
gonna
doctor,
say,
how you
Arthur's,
doing
like,
over
in
there?
shock. Yeah, next up would be Arthur's turn indeed. You have this this poor crying girl in front of you. Both of her friends have just been slaughtered onto the pavement behind her, and she kind of slowly turns back around to face you, and you can still see tears like welling up in the corners of her eyes.
I am holding my pistol in both hands, and pointing it at her, and I just kind of gesture down to the pavement. I go,
Drop the knife. Put it down now.
She kind of gets... Actually, you know what? Go ahead and make me a... Make me a temperance roll.
Temperance.
is this
that?
2D? Is this back on 2D6?
This is back to 2d6.
What's temperance again?
Temperance is resist fear, be sensitive, act prudently in dangerous situations.
So that is 9.
9. Okay. That is a mixed success. She kind of looks conflicted for a bit. You can see that there's anger, there's sadness, and fear, and she throws the knife down to the pavement. And as your eyes kind of follow the knife, she takes off running as fast as she can down the street. Does anyone do anything?
I'll let her go.
Okay. Yeah, well, I was going to say, we'll be out of combat. Also, I would like to say, Arthur and this girl had already moved one movement away from Carrie and Moose, meaning that you guys cannot catch her with melee. But you guys see this last girl take off down the street and disappear around a corner further down.
I kind of like look at Moose, being like, "What do you think?"
Let him run.
I kind of go like I get like sigh, like it's like, one day I'll beat you a score.
Yeah, well, if we chase down all the little folks, we won't have enough time for the big prey.
Too true. I just want to get my clothes and get this job done.
Yes, maybe we should move on then.
Before we move on, I'll just rip a part of the guy who's currently like dead below me. Just rip part of his shirt off and just wrap it around my arm where I got cut.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just a general question here before we end the session. As you guys continue down the road after laying these people out, just leaving them in the street to essentially rot, which, I mean, very normal thing to do in the city. What's everyone feeling like after this first encounter? What do you think of your fellow men here?
Oh, my fellow man? I think I trust Moose, obviously. I don't respect Arthur, I would say, fully. Personally, I think he's, he might slow me down a little bit. He hasn't, I didn't see the gunshots, obviously, so I just heard gunshots. And I was like, I didn't know, what he did. So I don't fully respect him, but, he might come along.
I will say, I mean, obviously, me and Carrie go way back, so I know he got my back. But I will say, there's something about the doctor now that gives me a slight smile, I know that something happened, and now I'm very interested to see where stuff like this goes.
I think Arthur, as abhorred as he was by the gratuitous violence, I don't think he holds that against Carrie or Moose. I think it makes him sad on a more cultural level, and he feels bad for them in the same way that he feels bad for basically everyone that lives here, because he just kind of views everyone as victims of the system, as it were.
The city,
yeah. He's no stranger to this kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think for now, the best description of his feelings about Moose and Carrie is simply that they are effective.
Nice. And that brings us to the close of this episode as our camera pans back up to the sky with Carrie wiping some blood off his face, Moose pulling his bandage tight, and Dr. Geller sighing as he tucks his gun back into his belt.
Oh, a quick addition.
Yes.
As he lets the girl run off and he moves back to catch back up with the other two, Dr. Geller does kind of, like, as he sighs, he kind of cracks his neck and, like, puts his hand, like, on his jaw and pushes, and you can hear, like, a cracking of, like, his jaw, evidently, like, relocating where it had perhaps unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all.
Okay. Also, I just want to make it clear, like, I do wipe the blood off my sword. I kind of do you guys mean some sort of moose, where I take my victim's his rags, and kind of just wipe the blood off my sword.
Yeah, absolutely. Clean it up.
And I make sure it's spotless. I kind of give it a little bit of the slight disgust of the blood on my face.
Absolutely.
It would seem that they had a bad time getting lost, friends.
Oh no! But that brings us to the close of episode 1 of Stars of the City.
Yay.
Thank you, everyone, for coming, for playing.
Yay!
It's a little slow start. Had to learn combat a bit, get everything kicked off. But I look forward to the future of this story. I'm excited to keep it going. So,
I'm very excited too. That was super fun.
It was fun.
Absolutely.
Good time.
Thank you, everyone, for coming in. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you next time. Say bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of Stars of the City. The music for this episode was licensed through slip.stream and sound effects through freesound.org. You can find links to both the music used and every sound effect for the series in the description below. Make sure to tune in next time on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts, and we'll see you soon.